Okay, what's going on, LBHT crew? B, what?
Don't even talk to me. Don't even talk to
me. What is going on?
Yeah, we're gonna see who we got in the chat here. We got Derek. What's up, Derek?
What's up, Derek? He says we in here. Yes, sir. Yes.
Andre Mears, what's going on?
Mears, what's going on?
Omar Tillman looking for some Ravens gear.
He said, so where do I get the Baltimore Ravens fan starter pack? This can't be life.
Sancho Mac, what's
Shout
going
out to
on?
Sancho Mac. He says, once I saw this, I knew I had to watch today. Oh, shake and bake on the Panthers now. Yes.
Yes. Ravens online ungatekeeper. What's going on, man?
Hey, quick shout out to
congratulations. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, what are you gonna say? Go ahead.
I was saying congratulations. You went over 900 subs just recently. Just blazing towards 1,000.
Hey, listen. If you have not, please, before we go any further, if you have not subscribed to Ravens Online Ungatekeeper, that is family right there. That's our guy Hendo. Yes. Please subscribe. Take a second. Take 2 seconds to subscribe to this channel. Let's get this man to 1,000 real quick. All right. Yes. Shout out to Danny.
You know, stop. Danny been laughing for like 7 hours straight. It's not appropriate, Danny. What's up, MD
Sports?
Not cool, man.
Get the laughs in. Yes, Raven Ron is in the house. Says, what up, LBHT? Happy Mayfield Day. Oh, feeling.
How you doing, Yolanda?
Hey, what's up, Yolanda?
You too, Yolanda? Man, I was like, I know Yolanda gonna be respectful, but nah.
Thanks for coming through, man. I love seeing y'all in here. Shout out to our guy, Dave Vaughn. Dave Vaughn said this will be the best show tonight. Yes.
Always the best show.
Yes. Right. And our partner from Ring Kings Podcast, Mr. OTR Mike, says, since y'all became big time, I don't ever get to see the intro no more. # big timers. Yeah, man.
What's up, Shaheen?
Says, Brodny looks like he just lost a family member.
I just gained a family member, I guess.
Yeah. There you go.
So that's the thing.
It's dangerous. All right. Yes, Dave. He said this show is completely about Panthers Nation. # keep pounding. It's almost completely about it. We talking Panthers and we talking Nets. All right. Look, I'm laughing. Okay, but there's a lot of pain behind this smile today. Okay, I'm a Nets fan, and there's a lot of turmoil. We're going to discuss that. There's a lot of turmoil. Yes. and I've been could not wait until today's show happened because I've been talking his ear off all weekend. Okay. Every time I talk to him, man, look, what we gonna do? Here's what I think we're gonna do. He's just like, man, I cannot wait until Wednesday. But Wednesday is here. Happy Wednesday. Hope your week is going well. But if not, hopefully it gets better starting right now. Look, what's up, Tracy? Poor Brodny. First person I thought of. Man, I love you guys. I love you guys. Right? Like you're so thoughtful. You're so thoughtful. Thank you.
What's going on, Nitro?
What's up, Nitro? He said it was going to happen. Nitro, you say a lot of things.
Yeah.
But you were right about this, my friend. You were right about this. Yes, you were.
What about them Hawks and Pelicans, though?
We're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that.
What's up, King?
What's up, man? Thanks for coming through. Darius Simmons is in the house. Big Reg is in the house. Yes. Attitude Pop is in the house. Says Brodny is sick right now. All right, we're going to get into it, man. But first, real quick, man, we are streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch and Twitter. Yes. I can't. There's so many places we're streaming live now. Make sure you're following all those places. Make sure you're following us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at LBHT Show. Also, if you listen to audio podcasts, we do audio podcasts. We take this and put this on audio form. So wherever you listen to podcasts, go ahead and follow us there.
Yeah, I saw that. I don't know if you saw the email, but we are the number 30 indie sports talk show on Good Pods. I don't know what that means. I don't know if that's good, but we also charted in the top 100 on sports talk shows.
I'll tell you what that means. It means
us.
I'll tell you what that means. It means we got to get the other 29 ahead of us about the paint. That's what that means. All right.
I don't know what an indie sports talk show is. That's cool,
I don't know either, but I'll take it. We're top 30. Okay. How about that? Top 30, not 30. Yeah. Let's get that trending. Yeah, okay. Look, we got a lot to talk about today, but real quick,
What's up, Eric? How you doing,
well,
man?
shout out to Eric L. So real quick, if you're new here, hit that like button. Also, make sure to subscribe. We do this show every Wednesday at 7:15 p.m. And if you are looking for the super chat, there are two ways we do super chats here. Okay, first is right below B $ LBHT Show. That is our Cash App. Also, the pin link that you see in the chat box will take you to our Stream Elements page. Both ways, you can leave a donation, leave your comment, and you'll get a nice message right up next to me, right here, right there. All right. And shout out to the people that are hanging out with us on Saturday night, or actually Sunday morning. It was like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yes.
Really appreciate it. I was sleepwalking through that whole thing, man. It was all blur. It was all blur, but we still had fun. All right. Okay, so we got a lot to talk about.
What's up, my guy?
What's
Shug,
up?
how you doing,
Oh,
Shug?
shout out to Shug over there on Twitch. Says, look at the happy face on Brodny. It's a great day to be a Panthers fan. Okay, all right, okay.
And how you doing, Couch?
Shout out to Couch Rider Raven. Make sure you subscribe to his channel as well. All right. I said we had a lot to talk about. We have a lot to talk about on 2 topics, but we have a lot to say. All right. But first, we like to start every show with a Black History fact, and B has a Black History fact for you.
Yeah, it's going to be a pretty quick one. Somebody made some Black history just yesterday. I don't know how many of you saw, but Mike Greer was a former NHL player. And they said actually one of the first African-American players to train exclusively in North America. But he had a long career. He played for Edmonton, Buffalo, San Jose, the Capitals, and a pretty solid career. But afterwards, he got into coaching and scouting and was just named the GM of the San Jose Sharks, making him the first Black GM in NHL history. So congrats to Mike Greer.
Yes,
and the name sounds a little bit familiar. His brother is Chris Greer, the GM of the Miami Dolphins. So kind of a it's a sports family. Their father was a higher up with the Texans as well. But yeah, again, so congratulations to Mike Greer, first Black GM in NHL history.
Now, normally, in sports, nepotism runs deep, right? Mm-hmm. And clearly he has, he might have a little influence with his brother being a GM, and his father, you said, was a GM as well, or
he was executive? No, I believe he was a head of scouting for the Texans. I believe was his role.
But those are 2 different sports. So for him to do it in hockey, I mean, like the first Black GM is 2022. He's the first Black GM in hockey. That tells you everything. That wasn't that wasn't nepotism.
No, he worked for it.
He earned that. He earned that for sure. Okay, so B, let's get into it. Let's just rip the Band-Aid off and let's talk about it. Okay.
Okay.
Baker Mayfield is a Panther. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about that?
Not great, Bob. He was traded to Carolina for a conditional 5th round pick, which could turn into a 4th round pick, depending on play time. The 5th round pick is in 2024, so not this coming draft. I'm not a big Baker Mayfield fan. I don't think he's a particularly good player, and I don't even see the point of this trade. And the thing that really bothers me about it is, I hear from media, fans, everybody, it didn't cost much, right? Because Cleveland is paying the majority of his salary. Cleveland's going to pay a little over $10 million. He took a $3.5 million pay cut, and Carolina is going to end up paying about $4.8 million for Baker Mayfield this year. So, not a whole lot.
No.
And the 5th round pick, conditional 5th round pick, could turn into a 4th round pick. It's not a whole lot, right, no. for your starting quarterback. And the other thing I keep hearing is, he's better than Darnold. So, yeah, it didn't cost anything, and he's better than Darnold. And I'm just looking around, and I'm like, who cares? Everybody's better than Sam Darnold, first of all. And second of all, in terms of the cost, we have an owner in David Tepper who came in and immediately was talking about building it the right way, and it doesn't get done overnight. Rome wasn't built in a day, and we're going to take our time and do it right and build it the right way and build a solid foundation for sustained success, because that's something that Carolina's never had. They've never had back-to-back winning seasons. They've never been able to put together a consistently good team year to year. And that all sounded great, right? And so he goes out and he hires Matt Rule. He's like, I'm going to hire a program builder. This is a guy who did it multiple times on the college level. He knows how to rebuild. He knows how to build up from the foundation. And so, yeah, we're going to put it together the right way. We're gonna get things back on the right track, and we're going to have continued success, something that the Panthers have never seen. So in 2021, they're sitting there at the draft at number 8, and Justin Fields is on the board, and they don't have a quarterback, right? They don't have a franchise quarterback, but they pass on him because they had already traded for Sam Darnold. They said, hey, Sam Darnold is very young. He's got NFL experience, but he was in a bad situation. So we're going to take him. We're going to fix him. He's going to be the guy for the long term. And they traded 3 picks to get him. So they pass on Justin Fields. They take J.C. Horn, and they go into the season, and we all saw what happened. They won their first 3 games. They ended up with 5 total wins because Sam Darnold can't play. Okay, you took a shot there. Hey, he was a guy who was highly thought of coming out of the draft. Didn't work out. But we fast forward to the 2022 draft, and we're sitting here and we're saying, hey, you know what? Well, first off, let's go ahead and get that left tackle that we also passed on last year in the top 10.
At least you got that. Got that.
But now we're sitting here on day 2, and we like one of these quarterbacks, but we can't take him in the second round because we traded that second round pick for Sam Darnold. So okay, but he falls through the second round, so that's fine. Can't take him in the third round because we traded that third round pick for CJ Henderson. Building it the right way. Right. And so they had to trade their 4th round pick. They had to trade next year's 3rd round pick to get a 3rd round pick this past draft. And they drafted Matt Corral in the 3rd. So we're saying, hey, cool. This is the guy. We're going to let Sam go out there and play, and we're going to develop Matt Corral, and we're going to hand off the reins at some point. We've built up the offensive line a bit, so we're building it the right way. We've got our guy for the future. We've got our guy for the present in Sam Darnold. So we're on our way, right? Fast forward a little bit, and to today, and we trade a future pick for Baker Mayfield. So now we're looking at a team where we've got 3 young quarterbacks who they've spent 7 draft picks on. Because again, there was a 2nd, 4th, and 6th on Sam Darnold. They spent a 4th and 2/3 because they used a 3rd on Matt Corral, and then the conditional 5th on Baker Mayfield. And the problem that I have here is you've spent 7 picks and you still have no idea if you have the guy. No clue. And, so I look at it, I don't look at it as, oh, well, it doesn't cost anything. I'm looking at it as a continued cost of passing on Justin Fields in the top 10 a year ago, right?
Yeah.
You could have taken that 1 pick and started building around Justin Fields. You didn't do that. Fine, whatever. But now we're 7 picks deep on trying to find that one guy. And what you're saying to me here is, yeah, we think Matt Corral is the guy.
You're talking about a whole draft class.
Yeah. We're saying, hey, Matt Corral is the guy, right? But we are going to go ahead and make this move to keep him on the bench and not see what he has. And the reason that's happening is because Matt Rule is in danger of losing his job. And he's trying desperately to find someone who can come in and get him wins right away. That's what he was doing with Sam Darnold. That's what he's doing right now with Baker Mayfield. And it's why you can't have a lame duck coach. If you think that your coach is not the guy, you have to go ahead and fire him. But that's why I don't like this move. Everybody's saying he's better than Sam Darnold. That's fine. Like I said, everybody's better than Sam Darnold. Does he make Carolina a contender? Do you think you can win a Super Bowl with Baker Mayfield or because of Baker Mayfield? I don't. I mean, unless he's a significantly different player from what we saw in Cleveland, you got at best, an above average starter. But he was very up and down. So I'm saying, what is the point in this move? Just let Sam Darnold play, move on to Matt Corral whenever you think he's ready, see what you have, and if not, go back into the draft and get your quarterback the right way. Okay.
Well said. I'll give a couple of shout outs real quick, and I want to give my thoughts on it. Shout out to Just Allo. Says, good evening, everyone.
What's up,
good evening to you, Just Allo. Shout out to Tanja. Yes, Tanja in the house. Appreciate you coming through, Tanja. Another shout out to Couch Rider. He says he's going on deployment for 6 months, man. You be safe, brother. All right.
Yes.
Absolutely. Now look. I see I see a few people in here saying they believe in Baker. All right. Okay. I'm just look. Andre Mir says, I'm laughing, but I definitely believe Baker can lead a team to some success. Browns was completely irrelevant until he got there. Yes, he had a lot of talent put around him, but he still made them relevant. Okay, that's one. All right.
He was the starter in Cleveland for 4 years. They had a winning record once.
Yeah. Nitro thinks you're going to the playoffs with them. All right. Okay. Let's see. There was another comment in here about Baker. Look. Yes, Ferris. Time out. Are we talking Panthers? Really? That's what Ferris says. Yes, Ferris. We're talking about Panthers. Who would you like to talk about, Ferris? Would you like to talk about your Giants? Oh, you want to talk about the Knicks and their huge acquisition of Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson. You want to talk about Jalen Brunson? You want to do another video on that? Okay. All right. We'll get to that. Ferris. You calm down over there. All right. Oh, we got a comment here. Oh, we got a donation. Shout out to Anonymous for the donation.
Thank you, Anonymous.
Says, why not Mr. Newton, Panthers? I agree. So, okay.
I think the answer there is that's not Matt Rule's guy. He doesn't believe he can win with him. And he's, again, desperately trying to win games immediately so that he doesn't get fired and sent back to college.
So I got a couple things, right? For everybody that's saying, yeah, Baker, look, you can win with Baker. Let's say, I'm knock on wood. We don't want this to happen here in Baltimore, but let's say Baltimore can't get a deal done with Lamar Jackson, and Lamar is gone. He's out of here, right? Would you be okay with Baker following that up, saying, "Hey, I mean, look what he did with Cleveland. We can win with that," or would you say we need to do better?
Of course, they wouldn't be okay with it. Nobody in here was saying Baker's the guy last year when he was in Cleveland. It was, no, they're not going to sign Baker. They're going to get rid of Baker. They need to get rid of Baker. They can't win with Baker. And listen, the proof is there, right? They didn't win with Baker. They had one good season. They went 11-5. They won a playoff game. But outside of that, he had a losing record as a starter.
Oh, look at that. Desal says, hell no. Andre won't even answer the question. He's laughing at that. He is like, yeah, right.
And that kind of brings me to my other issue with the with the trade is everybody's like, oh, it doesn't cost you anything, right? Oh, it's just $5 million. Oh, it's just a 5th round pick. So what you're telling me right there is you think he's gonna suck, because if he plays well, like everybody wants to pretend they think he's going to, then it's not $5 million. It's $5 million this year, and then it's 30 plus for a 5-year deal following that. And even if he doesn't get the going rate, like the top end, which is 40-50 million, are you going to tell me that I should be happy that Carolina might pay Baker Mayfield over $30 million a year? You think that's a winning formula in the NFL?
Yeah, and shout out to Benjamin Scott. Thanks for coming through to the live stream. He said the same thing. I like the fresh start for Baker on the Panthers. But again, if this were, I'm not sure if you're a Ravens fan, but for the Ravens fans in here, if they don't get Lamar signed and they were the ones to bring in Baker Mayfield, would you accept that? Of course you wouldn't. You would riot, right? Yeah. And we're talking about a franchise that had Cam Newton. Okay, they went from Cam Newton to, well, here we are now, right? like Teddy was a little bit more acceptable coming off of Cam Newton, because Teddy, he's a game manager. He's that guy that can kind of, he can maintain a certain level of stability, but he's not the guy. But Panthers fans thought he was going to be the bridge between, Cam and their next franchise QB, and it hasn't happened. Now, I can understand in a vacuum, if you're saying, hey, we're going to get Baker in here. He's young. He was a number 1 overall pick. We're going to kick the tires on him because we're not going to do a whole lot winning this year anyway. But if he surprises us, he can be that guy. We can invest in him. Or, excuse me, if he's not good, it's fine. We'll draft our quarterback next year, right? If that were the case, just this one time, I can get with it. But you've said that since Teddy Bridgewater, right? You sign Teddy Bridgewater to the same amount of money that you're paying Cam Newton, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Then you go and trade a second round pick for Sam Darnold.
Second, fourth, and sixth.
Second, fourth, and sixth. That was the guy that was supposed to be the, hey, we'll kick the tires on him. And if it works out, great. If not, it's fine. We'll get a quarterback. Except you didn't get your quarterback. You decided to go cornerback, right? The quarterback was right there for you. And you didn't get him. Okay. And he failed miserably. You bring back Cam Newton. Okay. And that didn't quite work out the way that they wanted it to. I will still bring him back because he's the hometown hero. But Matt Rule wants to save his job. He's not doing this to say, hey, let's see if this works. You know, if it works, cool. If not, cool. He's saying, I need to go with the surest thing possible because if it doesn't work, I'm fired. So this is the best I can do. This is the best I can do. I don't care what it costs to get him in here. Just get him in here. That's not him saying this could be our franchise quarterback. That's just him saying this could be the guy that could save my job for now.
Yeah.
So that's the problem I have with it. It's beyond Baker Mayfield. It's your GM and your owner holding on to somebody that you don't really have faith in. If they don't win this year, is Matt Rule going to stay on the team? No. So fire him now. So you don't have to make these bad decisions because all it's doing is, like you said, you're down 7 picks. You've paid out like $60 million in quarterback contracts, right? Like it's you're wasting time and resources to something that you're not committed to. And Baker Mayfield is just another person that you're kicking the tires on. Why waste your time if you're planning on getting a franchise QB?
Right. And the thing is, and here's a question coming in too from Anonymous. Thank you again for the donation. Really appreciate it. Is asking how many wins for the Panthers and Mr. Mayfield in 2022. And that's really the question, right? Like if you thought this was a 5-win team before the trade today, I don't understand what makes you think it's significantly better after trading for Baker Mayfield. He's shown you repeatedly that he's not a difference maker in terms of the team's record, right? Because again, 4 years starting, 3 years of the losing record. He wasn't making that big of a difference. But let's just say that, okay, you know, he's worth a couple more wins than Sam Darnold is. That takes you out of the range of getting a Bryce Young or a CJ Stroud in the draft next year.
Right.
And then it's, you know, again, you're stuck in QB hell, which is not where you want to be. Like if you think that Matt Corral's not ready to go, if you think he's not ready to play this year, then play Sam Darnold. That's the guy that you brought in. That's the guy whose option you picked up. That's the guy who's there. The lame duck coach picked him. Make him play him. And after this season, you know, you can go and you can get another quarterback in the draft, or alternatively, you know, if you don't want to force him to play Sam Darnold, because I don't want to watch 17 games of Sam Darnold either, you go ahead and start Matt Corral. You let him play his rookie season, and you see what he has. And at that point, you can make a decision. Hey, he showed enough for him to be the guy moving forward, or no, we need to go and get another quarterback. Nitro, why didn't they have that in Cleveland? Andre, why didn't they have that in Cleveland?
Well, exactly. Cleveland's stacked. They have a really good offensive line. They have good defense. They had the weapons. They have the running backs, right? Like they had everything. What happened?
Or more to the point, because they did win 11 games previous, right? They went to the playoffs. They went 11-5. So if Baker Mayfield was that guy, and he was hurt last year, we all know he was hurt. He played injured last year, and it was a terrible year. They didn't win very many games. Well, I think they went 8-9. And he had 17 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. He wasn't good enough. Why did they get rid of him? Why did they say, you know what, we're going to move on to Deshaun Watson if they have the guy in Baker Mayfield and a guy who can win them double-digit games and get them to the playoffs and win playoff games? If they think that he was the reason, why would you move on from him and give Deshaun Watson? I mean, I guess anytime you can get a disgraced star who's going to be suspended for at least a year, you got to do it, right? But
I want to remind people. I want to remind people that they moved on from him before knowing that they're going to get Deshaun Watson. I just want to remind people of that. They didn't know at the time. It wasn't a lock. In fact, Deshaun Watson said they were out, and they said, "Well, let me back in and let's talk some more because we're not going back to that guy. Okay, so you talking about like rolling the dice. I mean, they went all in on their chips and said, look, blow on these dice. Let's you know what I'm saying? Because they had no idea if they were going to end up with Deshaun Watson or not. But you know what? They didn't care. They knew they were done with Baker.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, why is that? If he's so talented, why are they so done with Baker Mayfield?
I'll tell you why it is. One, I mean, look, and this is just rumor that that they put out there that he has an attitude problem. I don't know if that's true, but I've always gotten the impression from him that he doesn't work particularly hard in the offseason to getting better. That's just kind of my impression of him. But in terms of on the field, he's a guy who thinks he has a better arm than he does, who thinks he's more athletic than he is, and makes bad decisions, and is only really good when they limit the number of pass attempts. The more you let him throw, the more mistake prone he is. And so that's why they lean so heavily on Chubb and Kareem Hunt, because they don't trust Baker Mayfield.
A bigger problem I have with him is that, people are saying, oh, watch, he's going to, he's going to go there and he's, get a fresh start. And he's going to play well. I think initially he is going to play well because he is that type of player. When he has a chip on his shoulder, right, he has to go out there and prove it. He's totally locked in, right? He's like, I'm going to show them. And he's totally locked in just to show. And they're playing, you guys are playing Cleveland in the first game of the year.
Yeah, I expect them to light Cleveland up in week 1.
He might have 4 or 5 touchdowns in that game. Everybody like, see. That's not the issue with him. We know he can do that. We already know he can do that. Mm-hmm. The problem is consistency. He won't do that over 17 games, right? What's going to happen in week 7, 8 when it gets a little tough, right? How can he battle through those periods? We know he can't. He doesn't battle through that. And you're on a team with less talent right now. So what's that going to look like? And I want to read this question from Attitude Pop. Right, he says, how do you think Robbie Anderson feels about this? I know he's sick right now, but he don't look like Baker. He doesn't like Baker, so that's going to be a bad situation. Yeah, he's made his thoughts known after the fact.
He's fine with Baker. Like he was talking about they don't need him in Carolina because they've got Sam Darnold. That's all. He's fine with Baker.
Listen,
he's not going to be fine with Baker, mid-season, but he's fine with Baker right now.
It's not, but again, it's not personal, right? And he's saying that right now because it's the right thing to say because he knows that he's going to be on the team. But at the time, he was like, no. And then when they asked him again, when it looked like when the rumors out there that Panthers were interested, they asked him again. He said, I said what I said, right? He doesn't think Baker is good. He doesn't.
Well, look, look. He said what he said because he was taking up for Sam Darnold, being a good teammate for Sam Darnold because Sam Darnold was the quarterback, and that's fine. I can believe that. That's perfectly fine because he knows that Baker Mayfield is a better quarterback than Sam Darnold. But as I said, it's not like, oh man, they've got this. There's something going on between them. Well, that's what I'm saying. It's not like there's something going on between them, and it's going to be this toxic environment. It's
no. I don't think that.
Who's Baker Mayfield? If the rumors were Justin Herbert is coming to Carolina, he wouldn't have been under that post saying no.
He'd be posting a Photoshop of him hugging Justin Herbert in a Carolina Panthers uniform. That's what he'd be doing, right? But he knows Baker isn't that guy. He knows that. Upgrade from Sam Darnold isn't saying anything. But Xavier Smith says he digs that trade. Look, a lot of people are saying they like it because he's better than Sam Darnold. But you think that makes them a playoff team?
But better than Sam Darnold doesn't mean anything.
It doesn't mean anything. I mean, maybe to the people from was it the tennis open? Maybe they. I'm not sure where they have him ranked. I know they tweeted out
yes.
that Drew Lock and
they're not a fan of Drew Lock or Geno Smith.
or Geno Smith. They might. I'm not sure where they have Sam Darnold on their list, but they had a list. I know that they were very well versed on NFL dealings. So salute to them. But it's not hard to say that Sam Darnold, like you're gonna upgrade for Sam Darnold, but what does that get you, right?
And I just want everybody in the comments and everything to just remember that 1 year ago when they traded for Sam Darnold, we were having this exact same conversation where I was telling you Sam Darnold is trash, and you were like, "Oh, bad situation," and he's so talented, and now it's going to be better in Carolina. And then what happened? Then they all disappeared.
It was funny. Shout out to Garnett, man. I hope Garnett is watching. We in the overtime show, Garnett and our guy Caleb, because they were pulling hard for Sam Darnold. And I said, okay, listen, I get it. Sometimes there are players out there that they may not have the stats, but they have shown something. That there might have been a game that I watched and I said, there's something there, right? Like maybe he turns into something, maybe he doesn't. But there was a game I watched and I say that game right there tells me that he can play.
Yeah.
What game was that for you guys? Like can you think of a game that you could tell me like, hey, after I watched that game, that did it for me. They had nothing. Like, right. I don't know. I haven't seen that game. So why do you have so much faith in them? Right? A change of scenery doesn't always work. A change of scenery just means you're going to be bad somewhere else.
Yeah, most of the time, players are just bad.
Yeah. Facts, Danny. 50 people in here, 53 people in here. Hit that like button. Actually, it's 52. There's another person watching on Twitch. And also, if you have a Twitch account, if you're new here, first hit that subscribe button over here on YouTube. And if you have a Twitch account, go ahead and follow over on Twitch. All right. If you're watching on Twitch, hit that follow button. All right.
Yes. Mr. J says, say it ain't so. Please tell me Ashton Kutcher is somewhere hiding. He's too rich. He don't do that no more, man. This is painfully real what's happening right now.
Yeah, man. Look, I think it's going to be like last year because this is exactly what happened last year. Sam Darnold, the first 3 games? You were 3-0. First 3 games, everyone's like, oh, Sam Darnold, see, he's working out. And then you went and played Dallas, and then it went downhill from there. And then you went on like a 5-game losing streak. That's going to be the same thing with Baker Mayfield.
Yeah,
I think you wash Cleveland because Cleveland right now they're not going to have Deshaun Watson.
I mean, it's Jacoby Brissett. Like, no disrespect to Jacoby, I like him and everything, but yeah, they should be able to beat Jacoby Brissett.
Yes, and if they don't, well, so much for that chip on his shoulder. It's going to be a little pebble that's gonna it's going to be weighing his bad shoulder down. But I mean, look, we'll see soon. We'll find out soon.
I just want to also point out, like, and I saw somebody on Twitter arguing this as well, because somebody, I guess a Cleveland fan, basically was saying that he didn't have very good weapons in Cleveland, and they pointed out he had 3 Pro Bowl receivers. One of them was a tight end, but it was Odell, Jarvis Landry, and Austin Hooper. All of them were Pro Bowl players before they got to Cleveland, and all of them had the worst years of their career with Baker Mayfield. It's a Baker issue. He's just not a particularly good quarterback. He is, from what he's shown over 4 years, he is on the fringe of being a starting quarterback. He had a couple of good years, right? His rookie year was pretty good. He had 27 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. He won Rookie of the Year. Everybody was loving Baker Mayfield. Like, it's only going to get better from here. And then he went 22 and 21 in touchdowns and interceptions the following season. After that, with Stefanski, he had his best season. And then he followed it up with what we saw this past year. He's not consistently good. He's a guy who, in the exact right circumstances, can be serviceable.
That's a key word, right? Consistently. And Andre Mir says, man, he was lighting us up sometimes, talking about the Ravens. When was the last time he did that, Andre? When was the last time he did that? The last time he did that was, I think, game 1 of 2019. Right? Like, that's the last time he really lit us up. Oh no, it was the game where we were in Cleveland and Lamar had the bathroom break. Right? He had a pretty good game that game. That was a while ago, dude. Shout out to Anonymous. Thank you.
It says, how many starts will Mr. Mayfield have in 22? Man, that's a tough one. I think he's going to start the season, and I think he'll play well enough that he'll probably start all 17 games, barring injury.
Yeah.
I think, like I said, I think that unless they just go on a long losing streak, Matt Rule thinks he's the best chance for him to win games, and that is all he's concerned about, is winning games this year. He's not concerned about developing Matt Corral or anything else. It's just, hey, what number do I have to hit to make sure I have a job next season?
Yeah. He says in 2020. Yeah. So we play them twice a year, and you're talking about that one game, right? So 1 out of 3. That's a lot. Right? Like you could probably say twice he's lit us up. Maybe. Right? Maybe you can find one more in there. He's been playing for them for 4 years.
Yeah.
So 4 years, 8 games. maybe 2 or 3 times he's had good
Well,
games.
he missed. Well, no, I actually have to go and check. I know he missed a couple games last year. I'm not sure if Baltimore. No, he played in both Baltimore games, I believe. They were back to back.
And I don't want to hear that he was hurt. Lamar doesn't get that excuse. Nobody gets that excuse. You go on that field, it is what it is. I don't want to hear any excuse. You take that field, you get what you get. Let's see. Mikey wants to know, B, what's your prediction for the Panthers record with Baker?
Without going back and looking at their schedule again, I'm going to say they're a 6 or 7 win team. I don't really believe. I mean, I've been saying I don't believe he's a good quarterback. I think that, in good circumstances, he'll play well enough. And I like what they've done with the O-line, but the fact is their left tackle is a rookie. He's never played. Their starting left guard is a second-year player. And even though he's looked good, I mean, young players most of the time are inconsistent, right? I was never a big fan of Bradley Bozeman, even though he should be an upgrade for Carolina. What I'm saying is that the line looks good on paper. We'll see how good it is in reality. I think over the course of the season they'll get better, but I don't think that you can expect that left side to play consistently well right off the bat, right? You look in the backfield, Christian McCaffrey, he's missed a lot of time since he signed that contract. He's had a lot of PTO. Whether or not that continues this year, they brought in Deonta Foreman. They've got Chuba Hubbard. They're going to try to spell him a bit. So, maybe he's able to stay healthy. I'm not buying in on Terrace Marshall as of yet. There's a lot of buzz about him in mini camp and OTAs and everything, but I want to see that on the actual field during actual games before I buy into that. And defensively, I think they'll probably take a step back from last year.
Okay, look. A lot of people saying they like the trade. They will, they giving you guys a winning record. I just want you guys, again, I want you guys, if you put it in the chat, and I missed it, sorry, put it in there again. If this is the Ravens and Lamar is on his way out, I'm out, peace. We're not going to tag him. He's just out. And we say, hey, all right, we're in the market for a quarterback. And we settle on Baker Mayfield. Are you good with that? Are you good with Baker Mayfield as a Lamar replacement? Yes or no?
And again, my main issue with Baker Mayfield is not how well they do this year. They're a young team. They've got some talent. They've got talent all over the roster, right? I'm not saying that they're like the most talented team in the league, but they've got a pretty talented roster. Mostly young players, though. So it's not, hey, I don't think that Baker Mayfield can win any games with this team. It's that I don't think he's a long-term answer. And if they go out and they do win 8 games, 9 games, 10 games, they're going to re-sign him. And then Carolina's stuck with Baker Mayfield for the next 5 years. And I can't imagine that the people in the chat are as optimistic about the next 5 years as they are about this year coming up.
That's the thing. The Panthers are out of the kicking the tires phase. They've done that. Right, you got Sam Darnold, you drafted Matt Corral, right? Like that's over and done with. You don't need a third quarterback to kick the tires on, right? You have your guys that you could try out. If not, fine. Look at that. He said, "Hell no, all right." MDT Sports, exactly. Mikey says 8 wins or more. B, you got to wear a Baker jersey on the show. We in the chat will buy it for you. Deal.
I ain't got to do a goddamn thing, right? But
Big Red says I take Tyler Huntley over Baker. That's saying a lot.
Okay, but here's the thing, and this is my real problem with a lot of these comments. Thank you, Nitro. He says, "Bro, Lamar is a top 3 quarterback. I'm not taking no one over him."
No. I'm not saying over him. I'm saying if we're in that, what I'm saying is if we were in the situation they are. Lamar's not an option. He's out the door. Right? We're not saying, go away. We're saying he's not coming back. We're not able to bring him back, and we have to settle for Baker Mayfield. Is that an acceptable replacement?
But this is my thing, and of course it's not an acceptable replacement, right? But it is for someone else's team. Yeah. It is for Carolina because you don't have to watch them every week. You're out here saying, 25 to 30 touchdowns for Baker. You don't care if he comes in with 12. What do you care? You're watching a top 3 quarterback. Why do you have to have a better option than Carolina does? That's it.
Right. Exactly. Um, let's see. You got
Nitro, you can take any offensive coordinator you want along with Baker Mayfield. You get to pick. Greg's gone too. Okay, so any offensive coordinator you want. You want Baker Mayfield?
So this is another myth by Ravens fans. Greg Roman is not the worst offensive coordinator in the league.
Right.
And his offense is better suited for Baker. Less passing, more running is much better suited for Baker than it is for Lamar Jackson. So that would benefit him. I mean, minus him having to run, right? Like they have to actually hand the ball to running backs. But as far as his performance, that'd be much better off. He'd be much better off with Greg Roman than who's your coordinator now? It's not
It's McAdoo.
McAdoo. That's right, McAdoo. Right. I don't think McAdoo's a bad coach either, but yeah. All right. I want to get into some Nets talk, but D Weezy is here. We're gonna get into some. We do a quick lunch money bets, and I want him to get his take on it too because he's also a Panthers fan. So I want to give him the proper time to give his rant. D Weezy is looking at something. I don't want to bring him up yet. Give me a thumbs up when you're ready, D Weezy. You give me a thumbs up. You take your time, sir. All right. Let's see. King95 says Baker was in his run first in Cleveland, and that's when he did his best work when he didn't have to throw the ball more than 25 times a game. And he's getting the ball to Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. You know, Nick Chubb gets a little banged up. Kareem Hunt is out for half the season, and then all of a sudden, oh, my shoulder, man. I don't know. I don't know if I can do it, man. You know, all of a sudden, his shoulder's flaring up. When they were healthy, he was healthy right along with them.
Like I know y'all remember what happens when they rely on Baker Mayfield's arm to win their games. Y'all remember CJ Mosley standing in the middle of the field and that ball almost breaking his nose because Baker couldn't wait to get it to him. Threw it right to my man.
All right. I think D Weezy is ready.
Yes.
He's giving the head. Okay, he's giving the nod. Let's bring him up. Right. Oh God, D Weezy is in the house. It is time for you gambling degenerates to get your pen and papers ready. This is a special one, okay? Because he's going to give you the lunch money bets. He's going to give you the hot takes, but he's also going to give you he's got the Panthers gear. He's ready to go. He's got the game face on. He's ready to rant. I'm not going to say any more. You go ahead. You take the floor, sir.
Yes, and so to kick off the lunch money bets, getting into something, going along with the Baker Mayfield news today, that needle ain't moved much on the total wins for the season. I took the under on the 5.5. It only went up to 6.5. Best believe I'm gonna take the under on the 6.5 because I believe this is a lateral move, and I got more to say on that. But going into a couple of the plays I noticed, you can get the Panthers at plus 900 to be the lowest scoring team in the NFL when the season's done. They're, I believe, fourth lowest in those. Fourth in the lowest odds, so basically fourth likely to accomplish that. That being said, that falls in line with a lot of what we saw last year. There ain't been much talent brought in or much change that's occurred, so that's something I'll sprinkle a little on that plus 900. Something else I found, if you look at the exact standings for the division, a little hedge play I put together with Atlanta and Carolina, basically mixing and matching them finishing in third and fourth. They're both likely to finish in those positions to begin with. Atlanta actually being the favorite to end up last in the NFC South. But basically, like I said, it's a hedge play. So, all these plays can't win, but if Atlanta finishes fourth and Carolina finishes third, I come out, plus half a unit. If you flip it around, I come out plus over a unit and a half at about 1.65. I don't see either one of these teams making a run and possibly finishing in second. This is basically a one-horse division this year, and we'll see if the Saints have a chance to lock up a wild card position or something like that. But those are the numbers on that. And now, to get on to, kind of what Jose was talking about, I had to come deck out,
Yes.
represent,
Yes.
Kuechly done joined the radio broadcast with the team. He ain't been able to, seem to separate himself from the organization or the stadium, the surroundings. He just can't get away. But yeah, people, I can understand the sentiment behind people thinking that the addition of Baker might improve the team, but he's going to a team with, I don't want to say lesser weapons, because I do think DJ Moore is probably one of the better wide receivers he's had in his time in the NFL. Not to say that he's better than an OBJ specifically, but he's not a slouch out there. Robbie Anderson, he's still a very good wide receiver. And I think, he's potentially going to a lesser situation. In Cleveland, you had a team that was run heavy, centered on the run, had defense they could lean on. They did not have to go out and win the games with the quarterback. And out of Baker, in a lot of instances, in my opinion, you saw him lose more games than you saw him win games. He is, by definition, a game manager. And bringing him in didn't change anything. Putting him on this roster and out there Sunday isn't going to affect that needle. And Vegas thinks so. Like I said, the total only went up one game. So
yeah, I think people are really overselling this. Baker is much better than Darnold thing.
I just really don't think
he is that much better.
No, I don't think so either. You got him at. Well, I think he is better, but much better.
I don't think the gap is very wide. Is what I'm saying.
D-Weezy, you got them at 7 wins. Is that what you said?
The book has them at 6.5 now. So.
Oh, he froze up. Yeah. I think he said 7.
He said initially he got him under 5.5.
Basically, they would have to win to hit that. If we go back when I first brought up that I was targeting the I said they wouldn't 6 games. It went up. I'm saying they won't win 7 games.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Look, you got 2 Panthers fans. You got 2 Panthers fans that is not looking optimistic. It's everybody from the outside. It's funny seeing people's views of your team from the outside. It's hilarious to me, right? It's hilarious to me.
And sadly, it's something that I've even heard touched on within local markets, even as far as reporters and media outlets. Just the simple fact that it's a small market team and organization, and this is something that affects other teams and across other sports. But the national media doesn't know what the hell they're talking about with these teams half the time. Literally.
Yeah,
that's true. Raven Ron's got his bets for you. He says, Degenerate Ron bets. Scared money don't make no money. Yes, he said bets today. Parlay New York Mets -1.5 and Yankees -1.5. Next parlay, Chicago White Sox.
Yeah,
is that what it is? Money line and Orioles over, and what's RL?
Run line.
See, look, I'm learning stuff every day. So he's got Orioles over and run line at 1.5. D-Weezy, your thoughts?
Let's see. With Chicago, I mean, they've been a team that people thought would be a World Series contender, a deep run playoff contender, and they have not lived up to that this season. And yes, I would say they were better than the Orioles, but in that matchup, I'm not sure there's a dog I'd like to take in that fight. Looking at the others, the Mets, they've been hot. They ain't cooled off yet. They possibly were able to accomplish what they were hoping, where they lost 2 of their basically top 2 pitchers. And it was a question of, could they maintain their progress and success until they got back? Well, recently, Max Scherzer just returned back to the starting rotation, went out and in 6 innings, recorded 11 strikeouts, and seemed maybe that he might be back to his form. So, they're definitely a hot team to get behind, and the Yankees are still, they're putting up some incredible numbers. I mean, it's just insane what they're doing as far as just the wins. I mean, that's what it boils down to. This team isn't losing.
Also, everyone wants to know your thoughts on Seahawks over under 6 wins, +100, under over is -120.
I think that's one you'd have to look at their schedule. I definitely think kind of how it's similar to like a Panthers schedule where when you look at some of those division matchups, it's quite possible the Panthers might only win 1 out of 6 division games this coming season. And so when you look at the rest of the roster after taking that into account, even if that team goes on a 5-6 run game, or well, in this case, a 5-win run, they're still not covering that 6. You're barely reaching a
Right.
push. I actually ran into that last year with a wins total on the Miami Dolphins. It was over 9. Guess what that win streak brought them to? Yeah. So
they're wheezy on it. They're wheezy on it. All right. We're going to leave it there, D Weezy. We're going to leave it right there. If you want some more of these hot takes, these hot bets, you want to make some money, D Weezy, let them know where they can get more of this, where they can find you.
Yeah, y'all can reach me at Backyard Action Media here on YouTube. Y'all can also hit me up on Twitter at dweatherly90. And I know some of my takes and some of my opinions might sound crazy at times, but I'm that same dude that locked up the World Series last year. I'm that same dude that predicted Russell Wilson was going to be out of Seattle before the 2022 season, and I did it about 2 years ago. I'm worth checking out.
Yes. There you go. You can also find them in our Discord. We'll tell you how to sign up for that in a second. He has a channel on there, Lunch Money Bets. Also, he hangs out with us on the Overtime Show, which will happen right after this show. So, D Weezy, thank you for giving us a hot taste, and we will see you soon, my friend.
Everybody take care out there.
All right. That was D Weezy for Lunch Money Bets. Yes, real quick, we're going to tell you where to find them. Right below me, patreon.com/LBHT Show. We have a few tiers here, right? And one of those tiers will get you to Discord, right? We have a lot of fun in there. It gives you access to our Overtime Show. Well, B's going to break it down for you. We break down the tiers for the people real quick. Let them know where they can get some more of us.
So we've got the $3 tier that'll get you entrance into our NFL Pick'em League that we do every year, and we give away a custom LBHT trophy at the end of the season for that. The $10 tier will get you the LBHT Crew coin the second edition of the coin. The Founders is sold out. This is our second edition here.
Now let me interject for a second. I'm gonna show you what you missed out on. This is a collector's item now. Collectors, okay? we literally don't make this anymore. Like you literally can't get it. It's not possible. Okay, that is the Founders coin. All right, a few people got it. That's gone, but that's okay, because we got another hot coin right here for you. All right. Oh, look at that. Look at that. A thing of beauty. Okay. And these things got some nice weight to it. They're great. You want to get one of these. All right. And also, B mentioned the trophy. We give away a trophy for the Pick'ems League. Right. This was our first winner right here. Our guy, Coach Jensen. He was the first winner right there. Yes. Our current champion, Mr. OTR Mike. Okay, look at the hours he lost sleeping to the hours he put into making the proper picks. Okay, the dedication it took to get that,
the culmination of a life's work right there.
Yes, exactly. And this is our current fantasy football champion. That's what you get for winning it all right there.
Well, not that one, but hold on. We with the $10 tier, like I said, you get the coin. It gets you into our fantasy football league. We have a dynasty league that's full right now, but if there's enough interest, we'll start up a second dynasty league. We are also going to be doing a regular redraft league closer to the start of the season. For the dynasty league, that was last year's belt. Shout out to Deshaun who won it. The champion this year is going to be getting this belt with our new LCFL logo. Don't mind the logos on the side. That's what Deshaun picked. We were trying to have a little legacy thing going on. If we win the league, you get to put your logo on the belt for the first 4 champions. So that's going to be going out to the winner of the Dynasty League this year. Along with the Dynasty League and the coin, you get the ability to request specific content. If you want videos or articles on any sports topic, we'll produce that. We just finished doing one for our guy Zaul talking about the New York Knicks. got some heated responses, but I stand by everything that I said. And we also have now the combined $20 tier, which is for this show as well as our boxing podcast, Ring Kings. And with that, you'll get our custom poker deck, which features our top 25 boxers of all time. And of course, all tiers get you entrance into the Discord and the Overtime Show.
All right. And as he mentioned, Ring Kings podcast, right? That's our other channel. If you're a boxing fan, or even if you're not a boxing fan, you just like hanging out with us, go over there and subscribe. We do that show with our brother OTR Mike. All right. And we have a lot of fun. Actually, Mikey joined us. He joined us here on this channel over the weekend. We discussed UFC, but we got some things in the works over at Ring Kings podcast. We just did a pound for pound list that's going to be coming out pretty soon. And shout out to
Thank you, Noah.
Shout out to Noah. Hey, somebody was working overtime. He said, "Happy LBHT show, everyone. Hope all is well." You know what? You get another animation, sir. Yes.
Thank you, Noah. Appreciate you, man.
Hey, we really appreciate you, Noah. Noah's been supporting us almost from the get-go.
Yeah,
long time supporter. And you want to be awesome like Noah. 2 ways to do that. Let me bring this back up. Right below B, $ LBHT Show. That's the Cash App. Also, the pin link that you see in the comment, that's the Stream Elements. If you're wondering how people are getting their comments read right up there on the screen next to me, that's how they're doing it. Either way, you click on the link that you see in the chat box, or you hit up the Cash App, $ LBHT Show. You make a donation, leave your comment, and you get an animation right next to my face. Yes, big money, Noah, man. Clap it up for big money, Noah, man. Good, clap it up for Noah. Yes, Noah for half court. Yes. Getting a grown man check. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. All right, Noah. All right. Yeah, man. Shout out to you. Thank you very much, Noah. We really appreciate that. All right, look. Also, I'm gonna put this up here real quick because we got some merch too. If you're wondering, if you like what we're wearing, this is where we get it from. LBHTshow.com/shop. Just go and check it out, man. Go and check it out. Get you some merch. Enjoy it. Enjoy the feel. Tell your friends. You know what I'm saying? Tell your family. And go cop something from the store. That helps out the show as well. All right. Now, B. All right, we've waited long enough. Okay.
Yeah.
You've waited long enough.
Been going in on my Panthers for quite a while now. So let's go ahead and talk some Brooklyn Nets. Only team to not win a playoff game this year, mind you.
Well, first of all, that's not even true. We won the play-in game. That counts as playoffs.
No.
Yeah.
No, they weren't in a playing game.
Yeah.
No, Brooklyn wasn't in a playing game.
Yes, they were.
They were like the 5 seed.
No, we were the playing. That's why we ended up playing. We ended up being the 7th seed. That's why we ended up playing Boston. Boston was the 2 seed. Mm-hmm. They were.
Were they?
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm positive. Yep, we won the playing game. So get your facts right, buddy.
Okay. Well, those aren't actual playoff games. So,
all right.
So yeah, I guess they beat the Cavs to get in. Congrats. Mm-hmm. Those aren't actual playoff games. Those are play-in games. You played your way into the playoffs, and then you did not win a game in the playoffs. The only team in the NBA who did not win a game. We got our guy Noah in the chat now. Wow, the LBHT crew means a lot to me. Take care of those who take care of me. Man. Thank you, Noah. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Noah. Look, we've been listen. I've said it before. I'm gonna say it again. Right now, we're a crew. Soon, we will be an army. All right, like we're building a tight community here, man, and look out for each other, not just us. We appreciate every one of you guys that come in here every week and hang out with us, but we hope you guys, some of you guys, we build some friendships through the chat. Yes. It's better that way when everybody is kind of, not everybody's got to be friends necessarily, but we want a nice close knit community here. That's what we're trying to build. We're trying to build something strong here,
and we want it to be to the point where we're the host of the show, right? And that's cool. We are up here and we say whatever we think and all that, but we want y'all to be able to call us out. Like, remember what you said last week, Jose?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
What'd you say? What do you say?
I mean, remember what we said last week? What did I say last week? What did I say last week? Last week feels like 2 months ago, King. I'm not gonna lie to you. It feels like 2 months for B because I've been talking his ear off since Friday. Listen, I told B when KD said when KD announced that KD requested a trade, I said, B, let's go live. And B said, let's wait. You know, because if he gets traded the next day, we're going to do another live stream. And you know, we don't like doing consecutive live streams. Okay, that's just that's not.
It's wear and tear, right? Like we're all about we're all about load management on this channel.
So we waited, and every day I was talking B's ear off, and B was just sitting there like, man, we should have gone live. All right, like. Okay, remind me what I said last week. I think I said KD's not going anywhere. And listen. Just because you ask for something doesn't mean you get it, right?
Unless you are assistant producer Jacob or an NBA player, because NBA players absolutely get whatever they want.
Okay.
Those two are going to be on the move. Kyrie's going to LA. That's already locked up. Okay?
So all right.
They said nobody else is even really pursuing that at this point. They shut down Dallas. They shut down. I believe it was Toronto was the other team they said called and got shut down immediately. So I think that eventually Kyrie moves to LA, right? They're saying that San Antonio might facilitate that trade as the third team, try and get a first round pick or two out of it, right? Yeah. But I think we all kind of expect that. Kyrie wants to be in LA. Brooklyn absolutely wants to be rid of Kyrie, and I don't blame them a single bit for that. But Kevin Durant is what it really comes down to, because Kyrie is a nice piece. He's a great player for sure, a great talent. I can't say you're a great player if you just don't show up to games, but he's a great talent. But you can win without Kyrie. You know, you've got Ben Simmons, you've got Kevin Durant, you've got a very deep roster in Brooklyn. If Kevin Durant goes, then it's more of it depends on what we get back. I think they'll still be a playoff team, but in terms of competing for a championship, probably not right away. They say that they're asking for, an all-star caliber player plus multiple picks. Mm-hmm. But where do you want to see Kevin Durant go, and for what kind of return?
All right. First, before I go off, right? Andre Mir says, Jose, you still gonna remain a loyal Nets fan? Andre, you have no idea how long I've been rooting for the Nets and the bad times I've gone through. Mikey will tell you. Mikey's asked me, OTR Mike, OTR Brandon, OTR Quan, they've all asked me, why do you like the Nets, man? They suck, right? Like, this is before D'Angelo Russell. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been rooting for them for a while. So yes, I'm gonna remain a Nets fan, and they're not gonna be rock bottom like they were before. All right. For what's his face? Was it Billy King that gave us that worst deal ever?
Worst deal ever. And you know, it's funny because the Nets were part of two of the worst deals ever. And they still were just making the playoffs, right?
They still made the playoffs. They still made the playoffs. That's right. And also he says, I'm not gonna lie, in basketball, I like they're near half the league. Oh, you like half the league. Give Baltimore a team, please. Yeah, if Baltimore got a team, I'd instantly be a Baltimore fan. But as it stands right now, I'm a Nets fan. That's not gonna change. Now, KD, before I'll tell you what I said last week, King. I'll tell you exactly what I said. All right. I said Kyrie can go. And if KD's take is if you don't sign Kyrie, I don't want to be here. If that's what his thinking, then he can go too. That's exactly what I said. And man, look, I get the whole NBA stars get what they want. I'm for that. I'm pro player, right? Shout out to OTR Mike. Appreciate that, my friend. He says, I don't get it like I don't got it like Noah, but shout out to my bros. Man, shout out to you. Thank you, Mike. Shout out to you, Mikey, man. Look.
I'm sorry to interrupt you there, but before you really get going, because I know this is near and dear to you, this topic right now. It's the biggest thing going on in basketball. We do have one more donation to put up there.
We always got time for a donation. Yes. Oh, shout out to Anonymous.
Thank you, Anonymous.
Says, will they be really traded before 2022 season? Okay, we're gonna. Okay, Kyrie's toast. He's out of here. KD, I'm gonna say no, man. I'm gonna say no. Um, Here's my thing with KD. I like KD. KD and Kyrie, no matter what happens with them, he's toast. I still like Kyrie. I think he's an amazing player. I love watching him play when he plays. It's not going to really change my opinion when it comes to that. He goes and plays with LeBron. I hope he shows up for LeBron. I'm a huge LeBron fan. KD ends up going on another team. I'm still going to enjoy watching KD. I love watching basketball. I love it. Right. I don't care if those guys aren't playing for my team. I mean, I care, but like, I'll still root for them. But the fact is this, those guys aren't leaders, right? We don't have a leader in this organization. That's the one mistake that they made, is that they didn't put any strong-willed people in the coaching staff or on that team to really rein these guys in. KD is not a leader. He is definitely a follower. And because he's a follower, that's why I think he is going to stay. I think he's doing all this stuff now because he's trying to have his friends back. But when it comes down to it, shout out to you, Raven Ron. I'm gonna read that in 1 second. I'm gonna read that in 1 second.
Thank you. Ron.
When it comes down to it, you hear everybody say it. He just wants to play basketball. He just wants to play basketball. So he's doing this right now, kind of lashing out, and they're like, okay, fine. But when the dust settles and they say, look, we're just not getting what we want for you right now. But check this out. We just traded for what's his name, Ron O'Neal.
Royce O'Neal. We got TJ Warren. We brought back Patty Mills. We re-upped Claxton, and you go out there and play with these guys. I think he'll play, and he won't give us any problems. I think he plays the whole season for us. I think KD, they can definitely smooth it over. If not, we can talk about trade scenarios. But let me read this from Raven Ron real quick, man. Shout out for the donation, man. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
It says, keep up the great work, fellas. Good O's and Ravens. Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah. So, all right. Yes. I'm all for players getting their way, right? When you deliver. Yeah. When you deliver, you call the shots. That's why I've always backed LeBron. When LeBron says, get rid of this guy, bring in this guy. Get rid of this coach, bring in this coach. Just do what he's asked you to do. Every time he's done that, he's brought you a championship. So do exactly what he says to do, right? You brought him there to win, not to build for the future, right? Yeah. When we got KD and Kyrie, that's why I was okay with pushing out the young players, because you get those guys, you're trying to win now. You're not building for the future. You want to get rid of Kenny Atkinson, who I really liked. Okay, fine. You want a coach that's going to just stay out the way, and those guys are the big boys in the room. They'll be able to handle it. But they've shown that they can't handle it, right? We've had the injury excuse. Last year, Harden was playing hurt. Kyrie didn't play because he got hurt, and we were still this close to beating Milwaukee and possibly going on to the finals and winning it all, right? So, okay, running back this year, Harden wants out because of Kyrie shenanigans. Okay, whatever, right? Kyrie's only playing half the time. Okay, whatever. But they get to the playoffs, everybody's healthy, and you get swept. Mm-hmm. That's the issue. All this other stuff that you hear in the media about, Kyrie's antics, this is that, they want too much, all that stuff. None of that was an issue. The only issue is only one issue, and that's you got swept in the first round of playoffs. If they didn't get swept, if they lost in 7, or they end up winning that series, right? We're not talking about any of this right now. Kyrie would have his extension. They'd be looking forward to next year. But you have to deliver. And that's the part that they don't understand. Shout out to Hendo, man. He says, 2 of the realest dudes out here. Y'all inspire me with the outstanding work. Oh, man, thank you. You put out each and every week, man. Thank you, Hendo. Thank you. You inspire us, sir. Okay? Yes. Thank you. Yes. But you have to deliver, right? That's the part that KD and Kyrie aren't getting. And when you don't deliver, you don't call shots anymore. I said that right after we lost. Okay? Playtime is over. Steve Nash, I want him gone. Right? Yeah. Kyrie, you better show up on time. Okay? Like, we're not doing that anymore. So when you come in there talking about, I want my 4-year extension, hell no. You're going to have to earn every bit of it. Convince us this year. And that's the other thing, too. If he said, you know what? I get it. I'll play out this year. Let me earn your trust, and let's do a deal next year. They would absolutely do that. They would absolutely do that.
Yeah, they wanted to re-sign him, just not to a max dollar max length deal,
Yeah.
and that's why he was upset. But you're absolutely right about those two. They don't get it. They're I mean, everybody knew they're kind of eccentric, right? But when you don't show up and you don't do the things that you're supposed to do, then you don't get those privileges anymore. I mean, you look at the Lakers, like you said, you just do what LeBron says, right? And they did. They traded for Russell Westbrook. They traded away some good pieces for Russell Westbrook, and it didn't work. And now the GM has to go and do his job.
Yep.
Okay, because now it's not listen to LeBron and just do whatever he says anymore. I mean, when he tells you get Kyrie, you get Kyrie. But I'm talking about the rest of the signing. When it doesn't work, then you have to try a different approach.
Yes.
With Kevin Durant, I honestly think, when he left Oklahoma City, everybody called him soft. Everybody said, "Oh, well, he's running and hiding and blah blah blah." And I was like, "No, look. I mean, it hasn't worked with Russ. They've been there for a long time. It hasn't come together. Golden State recruited him, and he was the best player on that team. He led them to 2 championships.
Yeah.
But now it looks like he is just looking for it to be easy. You're Brooklyn Nets. You're still the most talented team, arguably, in the league. If you bring back Durant and Kyrie,
yeah,
and they could still go back. Joe Harris would be coming back from injury. He missed pretty much the whole season. You got Ben Simmons. He'll be back next season. You got Nick Claxton. Bruce Brown's gone, but you got a lot of other guys on the team, right? A lot of good role players there. You were going to be the best team in the league. If you swap out Steve Nash, come back, go to work, you're still a favorite to win a title. But he's saying, no, trade me to one of the 1 seeds.
Yeah. And shout out to KTSC Sports Talk with Justin P. He's making that point right here. He says, someone said earlier, KD wants to go to Suns, Heats, Lakers. Yeah, he wants to go where it's easy. He doesn't have to, he doesn't have to be the leader.
Yeah.
Right. That's what it is.
Because even in Golden State, he was the best player on the team, but he's not the leader of the team. That was a very solid group before he got there.
Yeah. And also there are talks that not only does he want to go there, he only wants to go there if they have all their stars. So if we trade him to Miami for Jimmy Butler, he don't want to play there. If we trade him to Phoenix for Devin Booker, he doesn't want to play there. So that tells you all you need to know. I don't want somebody with that kind of mentality on the team right now, man. I just don't. Okay, you can be the best player, like B said, but we don't have a leader right now. And we brought you in to be the leader. Like you came in here as if you were going to be that guy. And now you don't want to be that guy. And I don't know all his reasons. Like there's always 2 sides of the story. There could be more to it. But it just seems like you just signed this deal. Your new extension is kicking in this year, right? 4 years. And you're already asking to be out because your friend didn't get a contract as well.
And
that's extremely weak.
You looked mentally weak in that Boston series, right? Like the series wasn't even over, and they were in the media talking about, it's just Boston's year, and KD was complaining about how they were playing him physical. Like you've been in the league for
how long?
A decade. Like you should be used to that.
Yeah.
Like that shouldn't be disrupting you. You're Kevin Durant.
Mm-hmm.
Play through it.
Look, I see. Just Al's got jokes in here. It says Jose's been rooting for the Nets since Julius. I don't know who that is, old man. Mr. J says Jose liked the Nets when they was Brooke Lopez. That's a fact. That is a fact.
Good for Brooke, man. I'm glad he got a ring. I like Brooke.
I like Brooke too. But okay, shout out to Attitude Pod because you're gonna. I don't want you. I don't want you filling up the chat with this. Once again, KD is running away from the challenge, and this fool Skip keep defending him, calling him the best player on the planet. Skip rides for someone who doesn't even like him.
Skip doesn't ride for. He's not riding for KD. Skip is riding for Skip.
He's riding for his brand, right?
Yeah.
Because look, Skip and Shannon are doing. They're accomplishing their mission. And that's to get you to watch and repeat their talking points. Right? Like that's what they're doing. That and Skip does that stuff. You can't have controversial takes. You can't have stuff trend if you don't say something that's off the wall. So of course Skip does that, and he sticks to that narrative a lot of times because he knows it gets people talking. Stephen A does it. A lot of these people do it in the media, which is why I don't watch a lot of that stuff. It's entertaining, for entertainment purposes. It's funny, but you gotta take what they say with a grain of salt.
Cupcake memes about to come back. Yes, they are.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right. I like KD. I'm cool with keeping KD. Right. We gotta do some more. Put something else around him, because when we get into those tight spots, he's not going to be the one to get us out of it. So that's something that they have to look for. Now, if it comes down to he has to go, again, I don't think there's any situation where we have to get rid of him no matter what, because we can, he doesn't have the leverage. I'm sorry, right? Yeah. Usually in the NBA, I'm going on another rant, but usually in the NBA, a player says, "Hey, trade me here, or I'm not playing for anybody else." That usually works. They even work for Ben Simmons, right? Trade me, or I'm not showing up. But what Ben Simmons had on his side is youth.
Yeah.
Right. Kevin Durant doesn't have youth. He's 34 years old. He just signed a 4-year deal. We got him locked in for 4 years. And the way he went out last year, you don't want that on your legacy. You're not going to sit out the whole year, because then when you come back, you can be 35 with 3 years left on your deal. He can't afford to do that. So this is a situation where we say, we're going to try to get you where you want to go. But if not, you're going to show up wherever we trade you. You are. Or you can stay here and play here or retire, right? But he doesn't have full control over the situation. Of course, the Nets are going to try to get him someplace that's favorable to him, but they are putting a foot down, saying this is what we want in return. So some of the options that we're looking at out there, nothing is looking good right now, which is why they're saying they'll wait. But we've talked about it.
Yeah, I still think it's going to be the Suns with signing a trade with DeAndre Ayton, Bridges, Cam Johnson, and a bunch of picks. I know that they're putting out there that they don't want DeAndre Ayton. I think that's a lie. I like Nick Claxton. He's a much better player than Nick Claxton.
Yeah,
I think it is. I think it's just them kind of playing hardball a little bit. They're pushing to see what they can get. I think they'll be happy to take DeAndre Ayton, plus other pieces. I think ultimately that's where he's going to end up.
I think some of these teams are going to step it up. I know Toronto was floated out there. They're talking about they don't want to get Scotty Barnes. Yes, you do.
That is an absolute. I wouldn't even answer their calls anymore. You can't even make an offer good enough for me to overlook you saying no. I'm not going to give you Scotty Barnes. Okay, we're done.
That is a team that's trying to play a hard ball. They absolutely would give him up, because they've already done this with Kawhi Leonard and found success. They would give up everybody to get KD, because it's worked for them before, right? We trade away DeMar DeRozan and some other stuff, get Kawhi in here. We won a championship, even if it was 1 year. You still won it all, right? You won the finals. They would absolutely give with Scotty Barnes for a shot to win another ring in just a few years. Mm-hmm. So they're saying no now. They're the ones playing hardball, but you're going to give up Scotty Barnes, and you're going to give up all your future picks. All right.
Well, that's not. I wouldn't even answer calls from them anymore. That is ludicrous. You say you're not going to give up Scotty Barnes for Kevin Durant. We can't start from that place. So you're out. I'll go and talk to the teams who are a bit more serious. I think that there's is he the most accomplished Maryland athlete? I don't know. I don't know who else, because I don't follow where players are from like that.
We're not just talking about basketball. You're just talking about. That would be Michael Phelps.
Oh well, yeah.
That'd be Michael Phelps. If we're talking about all athletes, it had to be Michael Phelps. He's got like 38 medals.
All of the gold medals. But I think if you're looking at KD, obviously the Ben Simmons being there limits the players that they can get in return. So you're really talking about them including Ben Simmons in the deal as well. If you really want to move KD and get a young star. So I think it's going to be difficult for anybody outside of Phoenix to really beat that offer. Because they can't go after a guy like Donovan Mitchell because he signed that 5-year extension. You can't go after guys like not that they would do this, but you can't go after a guy like Luka or Trae Young, because these guys you can't go after John Moran because they've all signed that 5-year extension.
I want to discuss that. They can't do that with Ben Simmons on the roster,
right?
So it can happen still. They just have to move Ben Simmons.
Mm-hmm.
If we talk about John Morant, we could talk.
Well, yeah, but you're not going to get guys like Ja or Luka or anybody like that because they're young and they're superstar type players. So I think the best player that you're looking at in a scenario like that where you're getting one of those guys who are on that max rookie extension is probably Donovan Mitchell. And
let me ask you. Right, I didn't want to cut off your train of thought there, but I gotta ask you this.
Yeah.
Right, a team like Memphis that's always right there. They're the grindhouse. I get it, right? But are you trying to win or not? We'll send you KD and Ben Simmons. You send us John Morant, Jaren Jackson, and some picks. Right, you've upgraded your team that's already really good, and you have a legit shot to win it all.
Well, I don't know that they would be able to actually take on both those guys. I'm not sure exactly what their cap situation is looking like, but I doubt they have the room to get them. So they would have to. But I'm saying they would have to.
Or whatever.
No. I'm saying that Memphis would not be able to take those guys on. Like I don't think they have anybody who they can send back really who would match those salaries. I mean, KD and Ben Simmons alone, you're talking around close to 80 million, probably 78 million, somewhere in there. And if we're being honest,
I think if you throw in like Adams
the grindhouse would chew up and spit out Kevin Durant and Ben Simmons. They don't want those guys. And you're talking about a team who is close. They're close enough already. They wouldn't do it. They were right there with Golden State until John Morant got hurt. Yeah. You got Morant, you've got Jaren Jackson, you've got a lot of good role players around them. They're not going to make that kind of move.
Okay.
That's why I say Donovan Mitchell, I think, is the best possible because that team is already, they've said, hey, we quit. We're not playing for a championship anymore right now. They moved Rudy Gobert. They got rid of their coach. They brought in somebody with no head coaching experience. They have 6 first-round picks over the next few years that they just acquired. I think that they're not trying to contend with what they have right now. So if they can say, hey, we can move Donovan Mitchell and some of these picks, and we've got Kevin Durant and a chance to compete for a title right now, we'll go ahead and do that. But I don't think that there's many other situations around the league where you're going to get a better offer than what Phoenix can give you with Ayton and Bridges and those guys.
New Orleans.
That's good in theory, right? But again, you can't get Brandon Ingram. Well, I mean, you would be moving Ben Simmons at this point.
This is a new package deal, okay? KD, Ben Simmons, you give us Brandon Ingram, and you give us the big guy.
But here's the thing: like if you're moving Ben Simmons, you're really downgrading your team because you're not going to get most likely a player as good as Ben. You're not getting somebody as good as Kevin Durant for sure. Obviously, we know that. But you're also not going to get a player as good as Ben Simmons. I mean, I know that we all like to laugh at Ben Simmons and he didn't want to dunk it because he was scared of the free throws. That was 1 or 2 games at the end of that series where he kind of broke down, right? But we forget that he carried them through the first round against the Wizards, and he is an all-pro player and an all NBA player. He's one of the best defenders in the league, and that is being a great perimeter defender is extremely valuable, right? He's one of the best passers in the league. I will say he's unselfish. I'm not going to say that he's scared to shoot. I'll say he's unselfish. So you're talking about one of the best defenders and one of the best passers in the league who's only 25, I believe, 24, 25, and has the size. He's about 6'10". He's a matchup nightmare for other teams. So, I mean, he's an extremely valuable player who you're not going to get anywhere near equal value for. And you've already got that situation with Kevin Durant. So if I'm Brooklyn, I'm not really looking to move both of those guys.
I hear you. I hear you. And that's why it's so crazy that he's asking to leave, because if you look at his situation right now, what's a better situation? If we trade, because here's what's not going to happen. He's not going to go someplace where he's going to play with a bunch of superstars and get a super team, right? Because, let's say, you say the Suns situation. All right, you're still playing without DeAndre Ayton, right? Okay, it's you and Devin Booker. That's great. Chris Paul, he's even older now, and you keep talking about how he's declining, right? So that team isn't as good as you think it's going to be when you get there. Like it's still not going to be a cakewalk, right? You got a good team. But it's not going to, you're not necessarily getting the advantage. Anywhere else, you want to go to Miami, there's no way you're going to Miami and playing with Adebayo and Jimmy Butler and Harrell and all of them. You're not going to play with all of them. Some of those guys are going to have to leave. So it's not going to be a super team for you. You stay in Brooklyn. You're playing with your boy Kyrie, who I mean, the word is they still want to play together. That's the only chance you're going to have to play together is if you stay in Brooklyn, and you add a super talent like Ben Simmons. Because yes, people make fun of Ben Simmons, but he is a great talent, right? And to Mikey's point here, Mikey says, let me bring it up. You had a good point. I missed it, but he said he basically said you put him around a bunch of shooters and watch what happens, right? You put Simmons around a bunch of shooters, yeah. Put some shooters around Simmons and you'll see what he can do. Yeah, when he doesn't have to be the guy, and he can just distribute and play defense and rebound. He can do some amazing stuff out there.
Now, I will tell you another situation that I think would lead to a deal for Brooklyn. That may, it's probably a better offer than what Phoenix can do. I was just thinking, I just had to check to make sure this guy's eligible. But if you send him to Boston for Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, and picks and whatever else, I think that Jaylen Brown is probably. I don't think he is right now, but I think eventually he's going to get tired of being the number 2 to Jason Tatum and nobody really respecting Jaylen Brown as much as he deserves. He's right there with Jason Tatum. He's really good. Maybe a half step below, right? If I'm Brooklyn and I'm intent on moving Kevin Durant, I'm going to call them. I'm going to say, hey, you give us Jaylen, Marcus Smart, maybe Grant Williams or some whoever else plus picks, and that gives Jaylen Brown to be the man on his own team, a chance to be the man on his own team. You still got Ben Simmons there, and then you pair him with another great perimeter defender in Marcus Smart, and you've got a really, really good young team in Brooklyn.
No matter what the scenario is, Brooklyn will be a playoff team next year. Now, if they get rid of both KD and Kyrie, they probably won't be competing for a championship, but they will definitely be a playoff team because they're going to make sure that they bring in a big haul. And also, the fact that we're going through these trade scenarios and we're saying, no way this team gives up this player, no way this team gives up this player. At the same time, we're saying KD, we agree he's a top 5 player, right?
Yeah.
So what does that tell you about his leverage, about his options, right? It tells you that he's an older player. It tells you that the situation that you're coming from, it didn't make you look good, right? It's not like people are dumping on the Nets because it's funny, but at the end of the day, you're the one that looks bad because you are letting your boy run wild, do whatever he wants to do on the team, making you look bad, not showing up in the playoffs. You guys get swept. Sean Marks didn't get swept. You got swept. You got swept. You look terrible. You made yourself look like a fool. Okay. Calling out that team, and that team said, oh, you want some of this? We got you. All right. That was you. And now you're saying you want out. You don't look good. So obviously these teams aren't going to give up a whole lot to trade for you. And the Nets are doing the absolute right thing and saying, listen, we ain't trading you for nothing. So we got you for 4 years. You going to suit up for us or sit at home? Right? Yeah. You're going to sit at home and then come back when you're 35. You want to sit out another year? All right, then come back when you're 36. Yeah. Right? Like, let's see what your value is then. Let's see who wants you on their super team then. Right? So, no, they're doing the right thing. They are going to get a haul for him, or he's going to stay there in Brooklyn. And Kyrie will be in LA with his good friend, LeBron James, who can keep him in check. And shout out to Garnett. Came through, man. Thanks for coming through, Garnett.
What's up, Garnett?
Okay. So I've ranted long enough. Let's do a quick bonus time, and let's get out of here. All right.
And so I think that they really should call Boston and see what they're willing to give up, because I know that Boston is desperate for a title. They from the Danny Ainge era when he was the GM and they were just acquiring assets, right? And then they were too scared to trade those assets for Paul George, which is the whole point of acquiring them. And they've just been going on and on and on. They used all those picks from Brooklyn. They got a couple of star players, and they've just been falling short. Get to the finals this year. Your stars didn't play the way that you had hoped that they would play. But I mean, not that they played bad, but I mean, they just didn't take it to that next level. And you lose to the Warriors. I know that they've got to be salivating. And if you send Kevin Durant, even if they take away Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, Grant Williams, picks, whatever, you're still talking about an incredibly talented team. They just got Malcolm Brogdon, and putting Kevin Durant with apparently the next Kevin Durant, Jason Tatum, you're the favorites to win a title for the next couple of years, at least.
Yeah. And what I want, I want Brown, and I want some future picks. And all of these deals, I want a bunch of picks down the road, right?
Yeah.
Even if he goes to Phoenix, all right, fine, right? You can try to make your title run, but we want your picks for like the next 3 or 4 years, whatever, right? Because 3 or 4 years, KD ain't the same KD anymore. Chris Paul will probably be retired, and Devin Booker by himself isn't winning you anything.
Yeah.
So that's a valuable pick. Mikey asked in the chat, Zay, you taking Westbrook back for Kyrie? No. Answer is no. But the latest rumor before we came on was that the San Antonio Spurs said that they want in on this action, so they may be willing.
Y'all got some picks? Y'all got some picks that are available?
Yeah. They may be willing. They may be willing to absorb that, and then we get picks in return. I want a bunch of picks.
I always love that about the NBA, man. Like the fact that the contracts have to match up means that everybody can see these trades going on, and then it's just some random team pops up and be like, "I'll be part of that." Yeah, throw a couple picks my way, and I'll let you launder some money through my city, sure. Yeah. I want to start this bonus time by telling Danity that no, Pete Sampras is not the best male tennis player of all time. That is Roger Federer. Okay,
and Pete Sampras is from DC as well, right?
They're saying from Baltimore, but I'm not sure. I don't know. He's a tennis player.
But look, the best athlete I can think of from Maryland has to be Michael Phelps. I don't think anybody's more accomplished. Right. But yeah. All right. So that's my rant, guys. Kevin Durant, be ready to play this year. Be ready to play the whole year. Be ready to stay. Because that's the other thing too. If cooler heads prevail, I think, at least from KD's side and Kyrie, for being honest with you, if they'd be an adult for 2 seconds, they would say, okay, fine. I understand where the organization's coming from. They gave us everything we wanted, right? They never said no. They tried to appease us at every turn. And, we're being a little childish right now, right? We're being just a little bit childish because KD wants Kyrie to stay there so they can finish out their careers in Brooklyn. And, they don't like how they're handling the contract situation. If he can sit down with them and say, hey, guys, Mikey, hit the like button. I'll tell everybody to hit the like button. Yes. If he can say, hey, Josai, Sean Marks, I don't really want to leave, right? But, when I got here, you guys knew we were a package deal, and I just don't want to see my friend go, right? What can we work out? I bet you if he said that, right, you get Kyrie in a room and say, look, they'll probably say, look, Kyrie, we want you here too, but we just want you a little bit more committed, and that involves KD being a leader. That involves KD being a leader, going to Kyrie and saying, listen, you have to give up something here, right? Like you got to be honest with yourself and admit that you didn't handle everything the right way. Like you bailed out on us a few times.
Yeah.
If you want this to work, we need you to give a little bit, right? Take a 2-year or 3-year deal. Like I can convince him to give you 2 more years, right? So this year plus 2 more years, that's 3 years. And then, we could talk a max deal after that, or just do this year and then do a max deal after that. You ain't get your stats. They'll be good for it, right? So do 1 more year, get your max deal then, and then we can ride this out. That's what true leadership would do. All right. Now from the Nets side, if we're being real, because they, the one thing that they haven't done right in this whole thing was just flat out tell KD no, right? If that's the one thing. I know I said myself, hey, you can go if you're going to act that way about Kyrie, but the real answer is, oh, you want to be traded? No.
Yeah.
That, what I'm saying? That's what the Lakers did for Kobe. That's what the Bulls did for Michael Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys saw you saw the documentary. You saw Last Dance. He just flat out disrespected the GM at every turn. He hated a GM.
Yeah.
He thought he was straight trash. He didn't have any respect for him at all. That's fine. You're not going anywhere.
It's kind of funny, but I mean, he's a terrible guy.
Yeah. He is. But what's KD going to do at this point? You're not going to retire. You're not going to hold out. Yeah, I understand. I understand, KD. I understand. We're not trading you. See you at practice. That's it.
And to Mike's point, you get Ben Simmons on the court, and you're talking about surrounding him with Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, Joe Harris, and Seth Curry. You're going to be raining open threes on people all day long, because Ben Simmons, he may not like to shoot the ball, but he can get to the rim at will. And even if you know for a fact that he's getting to the rim with the intention of passing, because he's a pass first player all the time, you still have to collapse on him or he'll take the layup.
Yeah. All right.
I mean, he was averaging like 16 points a game. It's not like he'll never score. So you have to collapse the defense, and Brooklyn will be getting wide open threes all game, every night.
Yeah. Just tell him no. Say, hey, look, we thought about it, and no, we're not getting rid of you. You just gonna have to stay. All right. Raven Ron.
Okay,
Raven Ron says Chet Holmgren with a double in some league. I don't care. I don't care.
I know that there's some people who disagree with me. A lot of people who disagree with me about Chet Holmgren. I said I wouldn't take him. I don't think he's going to be any good. But I don't ever see people quote summer league stats. Why?
I do want to bring up something. Now we're talking about Chet Holmgren, who is a white basketball player. Mm-hmm. And I'm pointing that out because I was listening to Dan LeBatard's show yesterday, and the producer Mike Ryan was he was trying to debate this argument with Amin Al-Hassan. Amin Al-Hassan shut him all the way down. I was very proud of Amin, right? And I'm not sure if Mike Ryan actually believes this or that's just to try to get a little buzz or whatnot. But they were talking about the KD trade and what Brooklyn would accept in return. And they're talking about Miami because they're from Miami, they're Miami fans. And he didn't understand why Tyler Herro is not getting more talk as being a centerpiece in a trade because he was a top 6 man. He's comparing his stats as a 6 man to Harden and Ginobili. He's like, he had better stats than them. And, he was, and Amin was like, yeah, but he wasn't the playmaker those guys were. Like, he's not the same. Like, I understand you quoting these stats, but he's not the same player. He's like, yeah, but I'm just saying, he's like, I'm going to say it. I think if he wasn't white, he would get more, he get talked about more. And he completely shot that down. He's just like, no, that's not true because, Philly's saying the same thing about, giving up Tyrese Maxey and a bunch of other stuff, and nobody wants that either, right? Nobody is thinking that's enough. It's just that he's not good enough, and him being white isn't a disadvantage to him, right? And I just found it comical that he's using that because yes, the NBA is predominantly black, and this idea that a white player gets underrated because he's white is just a joke. Because Chet Holmgren just went number 2 overall. Mm-hmm. The MVP of the league is who? Right?
Jokic.
Okay.
So, and you know what? He's going to hand that right to Luka. Right? But it was the same thing when Christian McCaffrey was coming out. There was a Panthers fan saying, "Oh man, the fact that he's white, a white running back, he's getting underrated and blah blah blah."
That's the announcement that Stephen A was talking.
And he went, "Oh no, this was just some Panthers fans talking about it." And he went 8th overall as a running back. It's not a disadvantage.
Not at all.
What's going on, Sterling?
Hey, what's up?
Okay, with the Panthers this season, they are the new Buccaneers. I don't know about that. I don't see Tom Brady on that roster. I don't see him, man.
Yeah. All right. Couple of comments. We get out of here because we way past our time here. All right. What else we got? What we got here?
I see. Just Allo was bringing up Babe Ruth as the best Maryland athlete. No, because the problem with picking Babe Ruth is that he didn't play against the best.
Right.
So
I completely disregard Babe Ruth. I don't care what anybody says. I'm not even a huge baseball fan, but you play in a segregated area. I give you like if you're gonna put asterisks next to players' names now for steroids, you get a huge asterisk if you played in a segregated era.
Yeah,
I give you no credit for being honest. Right. Sorry. Let's
Garnet,
see.
you know what the Panthers did. Don't do that. Nah, man. Don't be like that. you know what happened.
Yeah. Actually, says Kyrie coming to the Lakers, and if the Lakers don't get this deal done, because the rumor is that the Lakers don't want Harris, they want Seth. I'm telling you, Lakers fail LeBron. They're not going to get Harris or Seth. They're going to get Kyrie. The Spurs or some other team that wants to get in on the action will take on Westbrook, and we'll get some picks.
No, they'll get Joe Harris. I'm pretty sure the next
I can see
they want to jump Joe Harris.
I can see that. I can see Joe Harris.
They give him a huge contract. He hasn't played since then. I mean, if I were Brooklyn, I would just come back with him. But I'm sure that if they see an opportunity to dump him, they'll do it.
Garnett, you're not being seriously. You see the title of the show. You know what happened.
They traded for a quarterback, Garnett.
Yeah, I can't remember his name. Danny said Kyrie to the Spurs. He's not going to the Spurs. He's going to go to LA. He's going to end up in LA. He'll end up in LA, and I'm fine with that. I like Kyrie as a player. I never wanted him on the team. I just wanted KD.
That's not what I was doing, Mr. J. Don't talk like that. That's not. not putting that up on screen. That's not what I was doing at all.
All right, we gotta wrap this up because we're coming up on 2 hours. We still got an overtime show to do. If you want to hang out with us some more, hit up patreon.com/LBHT Show. For as little as $3 a month, you get access to the overtime show in our Discord. It is a lot of fun. All right. Garnett says, congratulations, Brodny, on the number 1 pick. That's right. Number 1 and 3. Okay. Don't need to look. Sam Darnold's still there. All right. Number 1 and 3. Ridiculous. Yeah. All right. We will leave it there, guys. Thank you so much, man. It is a slow period. It is a slow time in sports, and we talked for almost 2 hours. Okay, we still finding things to talk about. We're having a lot of fun. We didn't even give you any Ravens content today. Look at that. No Ravens content. Look, there's nothing to talk about. You know Lamar's awesome. Okay, but hey, training camp is starting up soon, so we are going to have a lot to talk about. So, it's right around the corner. I'm excited. I know you guys are excited. We'll talk about it when it happens. But okay, bonus time is over. It is now time for the overtime show. And again, if you want to be a part of that, patreon.com/LBHT Show. If not, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Patrons, get ready. Give us a couple minutes. We're going to fire up the overtime show. Everybody else, have a good night. B, are you ready?
I am ready.
B is ready. We will see you next time. Peace out.